everyone, and welcome back to the Wedding Boss Life podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Dragon Cook. I'm an educator, creative innovator, and a major Target fan. Like, it's almost a borderline problem. This podcast is all about equipping wedding pros with the tools needed to stop spinning your wheels and start streamlining the behind the scenes of your business. I hope each episode leaves you feeling more empowered because, quite frankly, you deserve it. Today, we are talking about the cycles of business and embracing those cycles. So what I mean by that is we aren't always on all the time, right? Like, it's very hard to do that. I don't know anybody that can do it well. So it's not something that you should be doing anyway. And I'll dive into what I'm talking about in a second. Yay! Oh, good morning, Rochelle. Hi, I'm so happy to see you coming back every week. I'm happy I didn't scare you away. Okay, so good morning, Kristen. Oh my gosh, how many people do we have on today? We're already up to 10. That makes me so happy. I know, 10 people, like, woo, but that makes me happy. Awesome. Okay, so I won't digress too much, okay? So just like with life and like with anything else, you know, there are cycles to everything. Good morning, Mimi. Hi. And it's very difficult, like I was saying, to be on all the time. Nobody is able to do that. Even myself, who has ADHD and has plenty of energy to go around, I can't always be on, right? And I don't know about you, but especially if you still work a full-time job and maybe you know, this is your side hustle, you know, doing something in the industry, then you know when you come home, like, that's your safe zone, right? Like, if you've had a rough day, you know that you can just decompress. And, you know, if you have a partner or, you know, furry friends, like we've talked about this before, you know, whoever your people are, you know that they're safe and you can kind of like just let it go, right? Well, what I have found in speaking to so many creatives is the fact that we don't honor the same kind of rest within our businesses. And so I'm going to talk a little bit and compare it a little bit to just the seasons and what they, you know, what their purposes are. I'm not going to get all kinds of woo-woo today, but everything's kind of connected and you guys will see what I'm talking about. So anyway, all right. So with all of that being said, for a good majority of my own life, I've struggled personally with cycling through energetic highs and energetic lows. The highs are always great, right? Like, who doesn't love feeling energized and getting things done and crossing it off your to-do list and, you know, creating these massive, amazing results and hitting your goals, you know? So for me, the highs have never been the problem. I don't know about you guys, but the lows are what totally derail me. Like, I have a much harder time sitting with myself when, you know, all my creativity dries up and I feel like just exhausted from thinking and, you know, working towards the goals I have, you know, for my business and my life. And, you know, it's during those times, my low times, when I stress out the most. And I don't know about you guys, and, you know, feel free to drop a 1 in the comments if this applies to you. I just want to, you know, see if we're all on the same page here. But it's the periods of low, that the self-criticism and the judgment and the self, like, sabotage live in every corner of my brain. What I mean is it's when my results start to slow down, when I feel like I'll never get my energy back. Are my clients coming in? You know, why aren't they coming in? You know, am I going to be able to pay my bills this month? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that kind of resonate with you guys? Does that make sense? It's, you know, it's when you start to have okay, Stacy, thank you for, you know, putting that out there. Like, I just got the goosebumps when I said that. We're going to clear some of that ish today. So I'm going to help you a little bit with that. Okay. Yay. Okay. I don't want to be like, oh yay, I see ones and absolute, like, that makes me happy that you guys are, obviously on the same page. And it's freaking hard, right? Because especially when if you have a partner that, maybe isn't in the creative space, and, maybe they work a 9 to 5, it's really hard to, even if they are like your soulmate and they know you better than anybody, sometimes it's really difficult to express what you're going through, right? Like it's difficult because they themselves experience it, but it also doesn't probably apply so much to having to motivate yourself, motivate themselves in their business because, maybe they're working corporate or something like that. So, okay, Tracy, okay, good. And this is kind of like, as cheesy as it sounds, I personally, every single month, I like to dig and I try to figure out what topics are needed most to be talked about for the month. And so this was one that was like, boom. So in talking about this, if you guys are, thinking to yourselves, oh my God, like she's speaking about my life, like as we speak, you want to make a point to come on next week's coffee chat. Okay. If you've never put it in your calendar, if you have, never set a reminder for yourself, if you've never done anything like that, I promise you, set a reminder for next week, 10 a.m. Eastern, because two of my very good friends, Dove and Nicole, they are going to be working some serious magic with you guys. I'll leave it at that for now, and then I'll talk about it more at the end. Okay. So just saying. All right. So going back to the low, I've done enough of my own, inner work to know that when I fall into like this pitfall, I guess, for lack of better words, like this just energetic, like bleh, low, it really means for me personally to pull back, to reflect, to rest, to, receive, to do less, at least until my creativity returns and I can start, making stuff happen in my business. In many ways, I think that we all feel that this period, like the energetic low, the meh feeling is less valuable than a high, than, being on top of the world, like getting it done, like crossing off your to-dos, right? But it's an energetic low should be something that we all kind of begin to look at as something that we should have to navigate, right? Something that, something that shouldn't be viewed as like darkness and like something that you need to cope with and deal with and, whatever, something that is bad. Instead, you should be asking yourself, like, how can I be more intentional with, honoring the way your business cycles? And instead of seeing the low period of your business, like, when are my clients going to come in? Am I even going to get any clients? Am I doing it right? Am I charging enough? Is my pricing off? Are my photos good enough? All of those things, instead of seeing that as the low period as something that you need to like watch out for and deal with, how can you embrace that and incorporate it more into your life and into your business? Because after all, if we really truly embrace the cycle of our business, then we would embrace it all instead of trying to fix the low, instead of trying to fix that, right? So what I'm trying to say is that energy directly correlates and it's influenced by the cycles that are very much found in nature, right? This is where I was talking about the 4 seasons. So, whether it's the 4 seasons, the lunar phases, there's a reason why all of that happens in nature. We're not designed to be on all the time. Just how, nature and, has seasons and the moon has phases. we have highs and lows in our own, businesses. So we're most productive when we can embrace both. So what am I talking about? I'm gonna dive that in. But does that make sense with you guys? Like, I just want to pause for a second because I'm trying to, really show you guys that it's okay. It's okay to feel like you just can't do it anymore. It's okay to feel like, am I even going to get any more clients? It's okay, because what that's telling you, what that message is basically that pops up for you, inside, that's basically saying, all right, Beverly, all right, Brianne, all right, Tracy, all right, Mimi, all right, Kristen, slow down. It's time to slow down and just rest for a little bit. That's what it's saying to you. Like, does that make sense? Like, yeah, no, I don't know. I know there's a delay with our lives, so I'm just gonna hold on, for a second here. Oh, Tracy, yay, it's now on your calendar. Yay, that makes me so happy. Beverly, I got really lucky when I married my husband. Good. Tell him I love him, Beverly, because what you experienced a couple weeks ago is part of the journey. It's part of the process. It's part of the business that nobody talks about, right? Like, nobody freaking talks about it because it's like almost like taboo. Like, it's like, no, you're supposed to be successful all the time. Like, you're supposed to be on all the time. You're supposed to be nailing your goals and being successful all the time. No! And anybody, let me tell you this, anybody that can't be honest and acknowledge the fact that they have low periods too, poser, move on, fake, facade, they got a mask on, like, nope, you don't want to be associated with that ish, because seriously, that's not real. That's not reality. That's not how life goes. That's not how business goes, right? Rochelle, definitely, you are not alone at all. And so I'm going to talk about, how, the seasons, you can use the seasons as an example. And so, oh, Brianne, honestly, here comes the woo-woo. And anybody that's watching and they're like, what is this girl talking about? Right now, the new moon is a period for rest anyway. We just had a new moon. When was it, last week? Ew, there's a stink bug. How are stink bugs alive right now in New Hampshire? Okay, sorry, I'm like, oh gosh, you're so creepy. I thought it was a spider at first, and I was trying real hard not to like scream. It's on my desk right now. Anyway, we're just gonna pretend like I didn't see it. Yes. Oh, you're so welcome, Karen. Yes. Oh, good. Yes, Kristen, you are not a failure. That just means that you're in a period of a time of rest, and you need to take that time because that's the cycle that you're currently in your business, right? It is, Stacy. Oh my gosh, that's why I don't know if you saw the coffee chat a couple weeks ago with just stopping the comparison game, but man, when I ever stopped following everybody. Kristen, just kill it. I can't. If it were a spider, girlfriend, I would be killing that thing, and I would have no qualms about it. Actually, I don't even know where it went. I'm not even kidding. Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Whatever. We're not looking at it. It's a killer. It really, it almost takes a part of you, because then what is being portrayed though on social media isn't reality. No, it's the best version of their high. It's their successes. It's their, oh, good. Oh, that makes me so happy. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yay, I'm so happy you unfollowed so many people. Oh my gosh. But seriously, Kristen, don't do that to me. Don't you do that to me. Oh, hell no. No. Nope. Yeah, but it really, it's important, to do that for your own sanity. Hi, Fran. Hard to do that in my business. Yes. Good. Fran, that makes me so happy. And you're right. In your business, so for those guys that don't know, Fran is a venue owner for a beautiful venue over where I am, just like 10 minutes down the road. And they pump out, what is it, Fran? How many do you have coming up for this season? Normally, on average for them, they pump out 50 weddings a year. So for her, it's a little bit harder, to set the limits and whatnot. But I'm glad that you are definitely working. Even with that kind of volume, you can still find the times to rest. Yeah, I unfollowed groups that made me feel inadequate or upset me. Yes, 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 yes. You have to choose, you have to choose where to spend your time. You have to choose places or, people, groups that fuel you, that literally give, are going to build you up versus like taking, or making you feel less than. Because if that's the case, if you've ever felt that way about, somebody on social media or a group, get the hell out of there. You're not supposed to be in there. Okay. I'm giving you permission. Groups are hard. They really are. And that's why, like, I know I've said it before, and I know I'm off topic, and I will get back on, I promise, for all of you who are like, ADHD, what can I say? But it's, it really is one of those things where I want this group to be fun, and I want it to be a place where you can come, and you can put it all out on the table. There's no judgment, and this is a place where you can come to fuel yourself, your business, and if ever you get the feeling otherwise, in this group, I want you to leave. Not because obviously I don't want to see you go, but I don't want to ever create that kind of environment for you. Does that make sense? Yes, Fran, you would love Tracy. Oh, I love that I just networked over a live. Okay, anyway. Okay, okay. All right, so let me ask you this. Let's get back to this a little bit. But what are the consequences for, when you feel like you're always on, right? Like when you're supposed to be, this master business, boss all the time. Well, I'll tell you what happens. And this will resonate, I think, with most of you. I just want to check on that stink bug. There it is. Okay, I just saw Kristen's comment again. What if it climbs up your leg? I'm like, oh, hell no. Okay, so the consequence of when you are always on and doing that to yourself and, pushing through when you should be resting is a loss of motivation. And most commonly, burnout at the end of the season. That's why we experience wedding burnout, wedding season burnout. That's why come, November, mostly, depending on where you are in the country, we're all like zombies. Like we are all zombies. We're all zombie vendors, as I've termed it before. Like we literally, we don't know if we're coming or going. We can't do our best work. We're exhausted. Poor photographers, they're still editing, through Christmas. Like they don't see the end until like the new year, so that's what happens when you're always on. But what I want to ask you guys is, how do we incorporate the natural cycles into your business? Well, honestly, the most simple way of saying it is we plan our productivity around those different phases. So let me explain. The first phase I want to talk about correlates to like winter or the new moon. It's off season for us. Like right now, this would be a perfect example of this phase. That stink bug is climbing up. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to. You're not going away, dude. You need to come down though. Like this isn't okay. How are you alive right now? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Okay, get on the paper. I promise. Like I wasn't lying. See? Get away. Go find a home. Okay, it's on the floor now. That probably was a bad idea. But anyway, okay. So the first phase correlates to, think of it as like wintertime or the new moon or, off season. Energy's low, right now for most of us. It's not about taking action necessarily, but rather it should be about planning what action to take, right? So, January, it was like, let's set all these goals, blah, blah, blah. Well, there kind of is a reason for that, because we've all, we're supposed to be relaxing right now, in quotations, relaxing. Like, is that really even a thing when you own your own business? Not really. Your brain's always on, but you should at least be, asking yourself, like, what do I want to be working on, during, when I do have, like, I'm on again, what projects do I want to work on? What goals would I, do I want to accomplish? Things like that. It's, a really good time to check in with, the bigger picture for your business, and make sure that, you're making adjustments if needed, if anything's out of alignment. Meaning, like, if you, sorry, stink bug again, dude. Okay. I'm sorry to do this, and I really am, but I have to kill you. I can't take it anymore. Okay. Oh, you just crunched. Okay, done. The crap that happens on coffee chats, my God, if this isn't entertainment and education all wrapped up in one, I don't know what is. Like, honestly, chickens roaming by my window, cats meow, like, I've got it all. So, making time to check in with your larger vision and making adjustments, if things feel out of alignment. Like, the primary objective, the primary focus for you during this time of rest should be to really think about, meditate on what you want, engage in self-care, like, really, really, like, go make a massage appointment if you haven't in a long time. Go to the spa, go get your nails done. Do those creative projects that, you never have time for during the season. But, maybe you really wanted to write an article about, I don't know, X. And now would be that time, because it's not something that has to be on your to-do, right? It should be like something that feels good to you, and that you want to do. Maybe you start to network with people, and make more friends, within the industry, if that's something that feels good to you. This is the time to really take the time to chill. Okay. So if you are currently feeling what, I'm talking about, like just the energetic low and the feeling, really, truly, don't be so hard on yourself, because right now you're supposed to be meh. There's a reason why you're feeling that way. And especially too, sorry for any guys that are on here. I don't know if there are any or not. Sorry, dudes. But especially, our menstrual cycles too. You girls know what I'm talking about. You ladies know. Like, it's just one of those things. And if you're watching the replay, you're probably like, yeah! It happens then too. But here we're focusing more on, like, the business aspect. So the second phase that I want to talk about, relates more to like springtime and, the waxing moon, if you will. So during this period, energy is starting to build. You're starting to feel like, okay, all right. It's time to, plant those seeds. The primary focus of this phase, which comes after, I want you guys to make a note of this. I want to see how many notice them coming out of this phase that they're in right now. If you're in the low, it builds, right? I want you to make note, because you don't go from 0 to 60. It doesn't quite happen that way. Maybe it does, if you have a sudden burst of energy, but 9 times out of 10, I would have to say that, it's a gradual, like, getting out of it, right? Is that right for anyone else? Like, that's how it is for me, at least. So, the focus during this time is, just start doing the things that you put on, your action plan when you were at a low. It will help to bring about those things that you were, setting up for yourself for goals and whatnot. This is a great time to initiate a project, or a styled shoot, or, launch a new offer in your business. This is that time. So that's why you kind of see, like, I see a lot of, wedding pros go into hibernation, from January until about March. Then right around like middle of March, end of March, beginning of April, you start to see all these styled shoots happen. And it's because like people are getting back into their groove, you know, they're getting back into building up towards, you know, amping up the things, the elements in their business. So you'll start to see that a little bit more too. I'm just curious because I want you guys to pay attention and see if you see it too. I see it all the time. But you know, yay. Oh, that's good though, Tracy. Okay, good. So you're like in the second phase. You're starting to build back up. Good. This is good. And it's perfect timing for it. Okay. So the third phase I want to talk about, obviously, next, what comes after spring? Summer. And, you know, if we're talking about lunar stuff, it's also the full moon. So during this phase, the third phase, you know, energy is at an all-time high. You know, it's the primary focus objective of this phase is to, you know, take the action, you know, like do it, get it done. You know, obviously being thankful for, you know, anything that you're able to accomplish and all of that, but like this is the time to push yourself. This is the time to act upon, you know, all of that inspiration you had written down, you know, during phase one, during your low period. You know, doing I don't know, you know, booking grand openings for venues, you know, doing big photo session for clients, you know, or maybe you're throwing a client thank you, you know, gathering, something like that, of which you can always then ask for video reviews, which is something we've talked about in the past. And yeah. Anyway, speaking engagements, you know, networking events, you know, really like, you know, what is it called? Like pushing the pavement. Is that what the saying is? I know that involves pavement, but is it pushing the pavement, stomping the pavement? I don't know. Someone help me here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a time to do. It's a time for action. It's a time to get shit done. So, you know, that is that phase. The last phase, the fourth phase, you know, is obviously what comes after summer, fall. And it's also after the full moon comes the waning moon. So, you know, during this period, your energy, unfortunately, starts to slow down a little bit, but it's not a bad thing. So, you know, this is a period to wrap up your stuff. It's a period to, you know, wrap up those last projects, wrap up those last sessions you had, you know, wrap up, you know, anything having to do with projects or launches or, you know, anything like that. This is a perfect time to, I hate doing this myself, but this is when I do it, to clean up my office. This is like, you know, just tidying up, like getting things finished, you know, to get things just completed. And this is also a great time to, you know, take the time to reflect on what went well for the season. Like what worked, what didn't work, what did you think was going to work, but maybe was an epic failure. You know, things like that. And, you know, whatever it is that's not working for you anymore, you know, no longer serving you, then you obviously have to let that ish go, you know? It's the time to make those small changes. So depending on, you know, how, you know, either in tune with your business you are, or to nature, or, you know, just your own self, like you might see a correlation to how your energy is, you know, and how it is relating to like the moon or the seasons, or, you know, your menstrual cycle, you know, things like that. Look for similarities, look for commonalities. Like it's kind of crazy. Like once you've opened your eyes to it, you're going to see that it happens more often than you think. But then at the same time, you kind of know what to expect afterwards, right? So if you're in that low period, no, it's not going to last forever. There's a reason why it's happening, because if we were, you know, always on, then we would crash and burn and be out of business, right? There's a reason why you need to take those breaks. And so when you're feeling low, just know that, you should be allowing yourself that period to just chill. So, during the first phase, and the last phase, so, what is that, spring and fall, figure out, the bare bones minimum that you need to do if you can't just stop working. When we own a business, we don't have that luxury to just stop, right? The money's got to keep coming in somewhere. So what I do during these, periods of low is figure out the bare bones. Like, what is the bare bones minimum requirement that, I need to do or I need to get done to keep the money flowing? Could you combine certain tasks or things that you have in your business, to get them done in less time during those periods of low energy? Maybe you schedule a coffee date with somebody, that you needed to finish a project up with while you're, I don't know, like out at the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, just combine things to kind of get it all done, but like make it fun at the same time, and be kind to yourself. But the most important thing that I want to, really have you guys take away from this chat, is that you don't have to wait until you lose all of your motivation or until you burn out completely before you decide to truly honor the low periods of your business, the low periods of energy. So, if you can start to be more, observant and intentional about that, then you can actually plan for your slowing down periods into your regular, business schedule. You can maybe, set yourself up to accomplish more with less effort, if that makes sense. Set yourself up to just be. Does that make sense? Like, I told you I wasn't going to try and get very woo-woo with you all, but like, does that make sense, what I kind of just talked about? Like, drop a heart, drop a like, drop a face if you're like, what is this chick talking about? I just want to make sure that it kind of didn't just make sense to me in my head. Because that happens more often than I like, and that's okay. So, okay, good. Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. At least one person is like, okay. So that is basically all I wanted to really, talk about. So now let's open it up. Now let's have that conversation that we always normally have. Like, what questions do you guys have? Maybe for me, or maybe for others that are watching this live. Sometimes we just need to know, again, that we're not alone in experiencing something. And I can guarantee you, of how many we have? 12 people that are currently on here right now, I'm sure someone else is experiencing it too, or, has gone through the same thing that you may have a question about. Good. Thank you, Stacy. Good. So I was just wondering what cup I actually had today. Clearly, I woke up like this, guys, for reals, like 100%, Beyonce all the way. So, if you don't have any questions, or, maybe you don't want to stick around for the conversation that happens afterward, my chat portion is done. But, if this is your first coffee chat, then I would strongly recommend sticking around, because a lot of times the aha moments, the epiphanies come during this period. I'm just waiting for people to kind of warm up. But, how many people truly are experiencing, a low right now? How many people are like feeling like, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I, going to make the money? Am I, are clients even going to book me? Am I going to make my goals this year? Am I going to be able to feed my family? Is anyone I know some people, in the beginning, had mentioned that they were feeling that way, but I just want to hear from, if anyone else has hopped on. See, okay, Karen, that makes me so happy though. Like, not that you, obviously, you know what I'm saying. It's something, it's one of those things that really is taboo, to kind of talk about. It's, we're supposed to be on all the time in this business. Like, we're always supposed to be, like, kicking ass, taking names, like, and it's not reality, it's not reality. So I'm happy that this, is able to help you. And, maybe have your business partner, hop on and, or don't, because, you say, it's not something you talk about with her, but, maybe this would help her. You never know, especially if it's not something you would probably chat about with her, Karen. Maybe she needs to hear it, Okay, and Tiffany just got over a period. Yeah. Brian, I'm slowly getting out of a low, but you're starting to gain more clarity. Good, girlfriend. Good. I'm really, really, really stoked and happy to hear that. Yes, Stacy, yes. And you barely do anything for yourself anymore. You don't give yourself enough time to relax. This mom's going to book my first massage. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. Yay! Oh my gosh, so stoked for you. It's something that is so needed. It really is. And it's like, it's so, as women, because I don't think any guys are on here watching, and if you are guys watching the replay, it's totally fine. I'm just going to speak to the ladies for a little bit here. As females, as women, as as mamas, we are the givers, right? Like, that is just how we are. That is our energy. Like, that is it. Like, we just give. But we all, I don't know about anyone, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies that are on here or watching the replay, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have a really hard time receiving, right? It's almost like we have to have permission, like Karen is saying. And I have to do it to myself too. Like, I have to stop and be like, no, it's okay. Like, it's okay for me to take time. And I won't lie. The one way I like relax and like get going again is to literally not get out of my jams for the entire day. I stay in my bed and I catch up on Netflix. If an email comes in, tough. I'm not available. If calls come in, I'm not available. I'll get to it tomorrow. You have to take that time for you. Otherwise, it ends in burnout. And it does. And, just in speaking with you ladies, today it's apparent we're all in the same boat. So that's why I'm stoked for next week's coffee chat, because I really think Dove and Nicole are going to, really, 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 really make some serious shifts and clear some blocks for you guys. So, yeah, on my way up from the low. Good, Tracy. Good. So you're in like the second phase. Good. It's a drain, but it's the constant roller coaster of owning your own business. So true, Tiffany. And it's like, but Tiffany, perfect example. Like, have you ever, in the 10 years you've been in the industry, really had this conversation or heard someone have this kind of conversation that it's like to accept it for what it is, like the cycles, and Tracy, you've been in it a while. I don't know if Fran's still on. She's been in it a long time too. Natalie, I'm an officiant and day of coordinator and always did it as a hobby, and just in the past 3 months decided to take it as a real business. Yay! And you're feeling like you're so behind. Don't feel that way. And I'm going to book any clients and I'm very low as I need the money and not working. Okay, so Natalie, what I would say to that, and oh girl, okay, I'm actually getting really teary. So for those guys that are new on the coffee chat, I'm intuitive a little bit. So for you, Natalie, right now, like, I literally am like tearing up. Like, there's a lot of emotion attached to that. And so, So what I would say to that is to accept this period for what it is. Be kind to yourself. I know that you're just like getting going, and you're trying to get the wheels turning and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that you can't be kind to yourself too, if that makes sense. So, does that make sense, Natalie, at all? I'm sorry to like pull you out of the crowd, but I just want to give you that message. It will come. It will, like, I'm being told it will come. And so you just need to be kind to yourself, you know? Does that make sense, Natalie? Okay. Sorry if that was like, okay. So Tracy is saying, I attended a retreat over the weekend, and that was part of the education and learning and being around other planners, new and old, that I felt energized. You were technology free for 5 days. And that's so needed, right? Like, it's so, so, so needed. So, I'm so stoked that you did that for yourself. And it was so like spur of the moment, off the cuff, right? Right, Tracy? Like, I remember you saying, I'm going to a conference. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's awesome. But it was like so out of the blue. And Tiffany is saying like, yeah, okay, it's a very hard thing to balance being on all the time. And, it's a dance. It really is. It's a dance. And it's like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And, there's so many, Stacy's saying there's so many things going on over here. I just need some time to chill out. And girl, and that's okay. Like, obviously, you need that time. So take that time, right? Like, even if it's only a day, take the time, put it in your schedule, block it out if you have to, block it. Like, that is the work for that day, is to just be and just chill, right? Tracy's saying, yeah, so Tracy's speaking to Natalie and saying, it takes time to build further, so don't feel like you're behind. You want to take the time to develop it and develop it right. So, if you're trying to develop, or just think of any new project, think of anything. Think of, renovating your bathroom. I don't know, this just popped in my head. Think of renovating your bathroom, and you only have half the supplies to, finish the renovation. Are you going to be able to do a good job and see it through? And this is with anything. This isn't even directly towards you, Natalie. I'm just giving you an example of like, it's what we do as women, and it's what we do as business owners. And so, it's really hard to see something through and do it well if you aren't fully energized yourself, if you're not full yourself. Does that make sense to you guys? So Tiffany is saying, yes, exactly. No one ever talks about this. Like, it's a hidden, subject. And that's one thing that I do want to kind of do more of in this group is talk about the unspoken topics. Because they are just as important as the stuff you hear all the time from the educators and, people in the industry, if not more important, I feel, because they are, they're lessons that still need to be learned, right? So Beverly is saying, this is totally me. I feel a need to justify it if you do anything for yourself. And we probably all do, Beverly. I'm guilty. I know I'm guilty. So yeah, you're not alone, babe. Tracy had a day on the beach with me a few years ago. Yeah. I remember this. I remember bits and pieces of this, Tracy and Tiffany. Yeah. Now you feel more open about it. Yes, exactly. And I love it. Yes, and again, it's your story to tell, but I remember bits and pieces. And Karen saying not to bring politics into it, which is totally okay, because we don't really do it normally, but I feel like it's an okay area. But even the state of the country has knocked me down a few notches lately. Yeah, and it makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Natalie is saying it does make sense. Good. Okay, good. I literally told the story this past weekend, Tracy's saying, okay, I'm just trying to start my event planning business, but a bit bogged down also being a caregiver for my father and trying to get my son off to college. Woo! Girlfriend, you have a full plate plus some. Holy crap. Holy moly. What I would say to that is, take the time to eat the dessert. even though you have a full plate. There's always room for dessert, right? I feel like that's such a whack job analogy, but it really kind of makes sense. Even when our plates are totally full, you always have room for dessert, right? Like, I don't care if you have a sweet tooth or not. Like, there's always room. There's always room. I don't care. Oh, yeah. So just be kind to yourself, babe. That's all I would say to that. Just really be kind to yourself. Stacey's saying, but then it's an inner battle of wanting to relax and worrying about the work that's not getting done. Exactly. I'm going to work harder on that. Yes. And it really is, because what I had to also teach myself and what I had to kind of like learn and, change the programming that kind of, like society has almost programmed in us, like to go, go, go all the time. Like that's just our society in general, is the work will still be there tomorrow, right? If you are having a bad day, don't try to get shit done. Like if you recognize that you are just having an off day, for me, when I know that my creativity isn't there, I'm not going to continue to try to create, a new blog post. I'm not going to continue to try and create new graphics, or design elements. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try to, think of new topics to talk about with you guys. It's not going to come to me. When you try to force, think of like a key in a door. When you try to force that key in there, if it's not the right key, it's not going to fit. It's not going to work. So don't keep trying to force it, because no matter how hard you keep trying to go at it that day, it's not going to happen. So just, acknowledge that. And sometimes you are going to be, not sometimes, all the time, you will be more productive the next day if you've had the time to actually like rejuvenate. Does that make sense, Stacey? Like, and this is something I have to remind myself too all the time. Like, just because I'm talking about this doesn't mean I'm an expert on this or immune to this or anything like that. Hell no. I'm a person too. Like, So, I just have learned enough now for my own self that, if I'm having one of those days, game over. I'm going to go do something that I want to do. I'm going to do something that's going to fuel me instead of me trying to fuel a project when I've got nothing left. Does that make sense? Yeah, exactly, Tiffany. Tiffany's saying, we've all been trained that to talk about your lows is showing weakness. And that can't be further from the truth. Like, it really can't be further from the truth, because I feel like you literally are a stronger person because you actually see, acknowledge, and recognize that we all have natural cycles, and our business is going to have a natural cycle too. So, the people that are like, oh no, I've got this all the time, they're lying. Like they're just not being true to themselves. Not necessarily that they're lying. I don't want to say that, but they're not fully embracing their businesses, and they're not fully embracing who they are, in alignment with their business, So Tracy's saying, okay, so Tracy, I think, is telling her story a little bit. Tracy's saying 6 to 7 years ago on a hot July day, I love this. Like, I feel like this is like the start of like a romance novel. I sat on a beach with Tiffany, pretty much telling her that I was done with being in the business and didn't know what to do. Been there, done that. Not this, but been there too. Her words to me were, what can I do to help you stay in this industry? And those words and her support helped me move past it. Here I am working my business full time. You went full time with it last year, and I will speak to Tracy. Tracy has since added on another planner who's focusing on, corporate events and whatnot, and is growing her team by leaps and bounds. So what would it look like for her if she had stopped? If she had taken that low period, that, first phase, the winter, the new moon, if she had taken that and just been like, no, it's done. I'm done. What would that have looked like for her? She would have never, ever gotten to summer. We appreciate summer so much because of winter, Yeah. And Tiffany's saying, and technically we're direct competition. For those who don't know, Tracy and I own businesses about 20 miles away from each other, and neither of you guys are the competitive type at all. No one's got time for that, and it's the people that are secure in knowing that their businesses aren't shakeable. If you've built a solid foundation, then there's no reason for you to feel like there should be, any competitive feelings. Stacy's saying makes total sense about the key and taking the time. Yeah, you always try to work through it because stuff needs to get done, but I'll try to remind myself that it can wait. Good girl. I have to do the same thing. We've never seen each other as that, and I don't see any other planet that one way. Oh, exactly. And I love this. I love this so much. I love. Like, I love. And look at that. It's 10:56. I haven't even gone over. Woo! Yay! All the wins today, right? And I'll be totally honest with you. I'm having a low period myself. I'm experiencing winter. I was experiencing spring. I'm starting to come back into it a little bit more. But life happened. And so now I'm like, no, I wasn't quite ready. I'm like the groundhog. Wasn't quite ready to come out yet. Wasn't quite ready for spring. I'm going back in. That's what I'm doing. And I'm okay with that because I know it's what I should be doing. And the more you practice that, the more comfortable you'll get with it. And the level of stress, I feel like this is so freaking cheesy, but the level of stress that we all feel, on the daily with our businesses starts to become just a little bit less when you start to actually listen to the cycles of where you're at personally and where you're at with your business. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. And it's just one of those things, like it's just one of those things. Sometimes you just need to hear it from someone else, we all have those moments of doubt. We all have those moments of, oh my gosh, am I going to get any more clients? Sorry. I just tuned in for a hot second. And so one new offering that I'm going to be putting on my website when I redo my, my services page is that, and this isn't something I actually wanted to talk about right now, but I'm being pushed to talk about it right now. So I'm just going to get it out there and move on. One new service that I'm going to be putting on my services page is that I'm actually going to be offering, readings for people. So if you want to have, a 25-minute, half-hour reading, just to get some clarity on your life, clarity on your business, then that is something that I'm going to be offering. $25. I mean, I think that's fair. But anyway, there it is. I put it out there. So now I can be done and stop listening. And Rochelle's saying this topic needs to be, yes, it's real talk. But that's like what I want this group to be about, is the real shit, the real talk, the real side to business, right? Like, I can't, I have a couple pet peeves, I won't lie, but one of my biggest pet peeves is to sit and watch people that are, other educators in the business, in the industry. And it's like, I like, there's no substance there. Does that make sense? I mean, by no means am I trying to knock anybody. That's not what I'm doing. But there's just like no realness there, And so like, that's what I want you guys to have here. I want you to be able to experience that here. So if nothing else, I hope that this talk helped with that. So, okay, what are you guys saying? Yes, you are. I can't even tell you how much you've helped me. Oh, Tracy, thank you so much. Like, that makes me teary and silly pants. Oh, thanks, Tiff. Having best friends in the same industry has kept me motivated during the harder seasons and negative times. Stacy's saying, so thankful for them. Absolutely. Sign me up. I want one. I need that. You guys crack me right up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are so funny. Okay. Well, okay. So apparently, all right. Well, what I can try to do is, I'll try and get that set up. I won't do it this week because I'm in a low. I'll do it soon. But if that is something that you want to do, if you want to, grab a reading for yourself, then, shoot me an email or, yeah, that's probably your best bet. But I will be putting it on there soon. So if it's something that you regularly want to do, then you'll be able to have easier access to it. Oh my gosh, you guys crack me up. So it's 11 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for today and for your support. And I hope that I was able to shed some light on a topic, again, that is a little bit taboo, a little bit not talked about. Next week, like I said, so I don't know if I even mentioned it, but Dove and Nicole are actually energy healers, but they are energy healers for creative business owners. And I met them about a year ago, and they literally have transformed and changed my life. So I'm really stoked that they're going to be here. I'll drop their info in the comments. So next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, catch the replay if you're not able to catch it live. But trust me when I say the power in what they have to give you guys, their words, their everything, you want to catch it live. Like, it's one of those, like, if you've got to move ish around to make it happen, because it's worth it. I promise you. Yay, Karen, you're in. Awesome. Okay. So I'll drop that info in the comments. Thank you guys so much. As always, if you have questions, reach out. I'm always here. Much love to you all, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.